Got it.
Hey, Taylor's here.
Taylor,
Hello.
how are you?
Taylor.
I'm doing great. How are you two?
Well, I'm doing great, but I have never made a suit of clothing.
A suit?
Of clothing, yeah. Not a shirt or a sweater, a pair of pants, none of it.
Why would you do that?
Well, I don't know, but I'm assuming, I mean, I am talking to a tailor.
Aha. I see.
What a fun way to start the day. That guy's a real comedian.
For a minute there, you had me wondering.
That's the whole point, because if you're not wondering, then the joke can't land.
Right.
I mean, if you're like, oh, I know where this is going, that joke is just going to keep on sailing.
Oh my God.
Taylor the
Taylor the tailor. I gotta.
Well, I'm not making any clothes today.
I'm not, that's for sure. I can't even sew.
Oh my gosh. All right, he'll be right back.
Okay.
Go that way and then that way. Okay. He's figuring out how to get out of the office quick and come back.
Okay.
Hey, did you get a chance to connect with Tony?
Tony.
Tony Cater?
I don't think I did. About what about?
The showings?
Oh, yes. So I messaged her, and she had already found somebody by the time I got back to her.
Okay.
Or wait, or am I thinking about the other person? No, that was a Duckworth. You had.
Oh yeah. Tony was the one who needed somebody in South Minneapolis or
Yeah,
St.
for
Paul?
like this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had
Okay.
she had like 4 days she was gonna be gone or something.
Yep, we did connect. And yeah, I haven't been like linked up with her client or anything yet. So
Okay.
I'm assuming she'll text me once there's for sure a showing to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I totally I was like, okay, which one was it? But yeah,
Who are
I
all the
did
people?
connect with her. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how has the last week gone for you?
The last week has been fantastic. I feel like I'm finally getting back into like the routine, and it's paying off already. So
Good.
yeah, got stuff moving. Got another buyer, and then I've got a listing coming up, and then potentially 2 listings. I've got the listing appointment coming up here. One of them's family, so she's like, yeah, you can definitely list it. Like, probably gonna sell in the next month or 2. So I'm like, great, let's get you on withheld, and then work in the bar Monday night. Started talking to a couple, and they're like my regulars on Monday, and they're like, yeah, we just need a bigger place. I'm like, no kidding.
I might know someone who can help you with
Yeah,
bigger
and
place.
immediately they were so excited. They're like, oh my gosh, we'll have you over like next week for some beers, and like you can check our house out. And
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
yeah, and that one might be a luxury sell too. I'm not 100%
What?
sure, but yeah,
Nice. Where
very
do they
nice
live?
place. Egan.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah, so things have been good.
You missed his news.
I didn't
Dang
miss
it.
it. Congratulations, Taylor.
Well, that sounds better, doesn't it?
You better leave it open
Thank you.
Yeah.
in case Lori and Cassandra come.
Congratulations, Taylor. It sounds wonderful. I'm very proud of you, and I think we should all be happy based on the expanding results.
Yes, my new cup collection is coming along.
Ooh, that's a win.
I'm just
Now,
I was like, what's he gonna say?
when you have
He
like
might have a luxury listing.
oh,
his regulars on Monday night came in and said they want a bigger place. They live in Egan.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, so the place that they're selling is luxury, or the place they want to go is luxury?
Yes.
Most likely both.
Oh,
Because
Wow.
they run their like, they're like a contractors, like woodworkers kind of, and they run their business out of their house, and their garage is like not big enough, so they need an outbuilding. So yeah,
Egan,
but
huh?
it's like an acre and a half, like right in town.
Oh my God.
Like
In Egan.
yeah,
Is it 196 school district?
I'd have to check here, but I'm guessing.
I know we're not supposed to talk about school districts, so I'm not saying anything.
That's so confusing.
Egan's weird. They're part of 3 different districts. They're part of
Oh, gotcha.
they're part of Apple Valley, Egan, Rosemont. They're part of Burnsville, Egan, Savage, and they're part of Egan, West St. Paul and Mendota or something. Maybe it's just Mendota Heights. I don't know, but they don't have their own like, designated. Like Burnsville's like we have one high school and that's it. Egan has multiple.
So is it like open enrollment or just wherever you land, kind of?
It's where you live, and then they can do open enrollment.
Mhm.
And if you were in 196, that would probably be the best case scenario.
Okay.
If I was, I guess I can be biased because that's where my kids go to school. And if somebody was to say, hey, let me talk to somebody who lives here, I could be like, I do, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'd be like,
that-
hey, I do.
I do. So, anyway, is this Cassandra with the iPhone? I can't tell because it just says iPhone. Let's find out.
Yeah,
It is.
She has an iPhone.
I'm in Savage right now. I'm on my way.
Sounds like it's her phone, not iPhone.
Oh my gosh, it is. It's her phone.
Oh, well, this is Skokin.
We got a live one here. So when you guys get here, you can come into my office. So that's where we are. I mean, obviously you can see that, but
How can she see that?
well, because
She's driving.
well, but Lori's with her.
Well, then Lori can see maybe. You can't. She's driving. Her eyes are on the road.
Only 2 things are forever: love and Liberty Mutual, customizing your car insurance. So
She's
There you go.
playing commercials on Liberty Mutual for us, or whatever it is. Okay. Anyway, we were talking about wins. So Taylor told us he's got a pretty awesome win with,
That's a big win.
yep.
And I just want to point this out. We all do this. We talk about it. But Taylor, you get that lead because you're not a secret agent.
Yes.
Right.
I mean,
Yep. Tell
Yeah.
everyone.
because you just don't know. And you don't know who and you don't know when. So if you keep it a secret, it's definitely no. So way to win.
Yeah, because they said we'd like to live in a bigger place. And he's like, well, I know someone who could help you. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh.
See, now Lori has a phone.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Or is she connected to an enormous computer?
I don't know. Okay. So let's see, Shantia, you were on next. Tell us a win for you.
Okay, I have a really good win that happened yesterday. So I had a buyer's consultation, and I got her to sign.
Nice.
And so she is a friend of the family. She's been a friend of the family for quite a long time. And she owns 3 properties already. And so she's looking to buy another one.
Did you see this? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Woo!
She's looking to buy another one so that she can do like a subsidized program, be one of those landlords.
Okay.
So, yeah, it went really well yesterday, and I got her to sign like all 4 documents, and I got them uploaded into Command today.
Nice.
So that's sitting in my file. But yeah, so that's my win. I got a buyer signed yesterday. And it's promising.
Sweet.
Nice. Congrats.
Awesome. Look at- That's good news. And you know, the other thing I would point out is, if you were to like one of those old time movies, if you put your ear to the ground to hear if the train is coming, it's getting busier. You can feel it in the earth.
Mhm.
Everybody's picking up, and it's good to see us collectively as part of that piece too.
Mhm.
You know, yesterday we had a number of events scheduled here, and people just couldn't make it.
Yep.
And that's not a sad thing.
Right,
If you're
right.
busy doing things, that's what we want, you know. So
Yeah.
it's good to hear that things are going on. Who else is that? Well, congratulations, Shanti.
Congratulations. Super exciting. All right, Cassandra, how about you? Tell me something good. Tell us something good.
Oh my God. So I randomly looked at a house yesterday. It was for a good friend of mine. He just wanted to get in there. I had told him previously that I typically don't do showings unless they're already pre-approved, but it's a good friend of mine and it was only 15 minutes away from my house. And so I thought, why not? But what ended up happening is we did get him pre-approved right away, and we are getting all the counter offers signed right now, actually. And so
What?
that'll all be accepted here in a couple minutes. And then I'm selling his house, obviously, because he has to sell that too. And so he's going to have that active I got him to do it within 12 days, but we're signing all the paperwork for it tonight. And he's doing a bunch of projects on it. So this has all happened in like less than 24 and 48 hours. So it's been a little crazy.
Oh my gosh. And so now tell me, because this is the one that you messaged me about last night. So
Last
Are-
night?
last night,
I was born at night, but not last night.
so they're okay with you not having the house on the market, obviously.
Yeah, they accepted it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was like, hey, we're pre-approved, we're ready to go. This has been their best offer that they had. It was just that our contingency was that we needed to sell his house first. And I was like, we're like rock and rolling. We're gonna do this. We're gonna be ready to go. So we have no intentions on like pulling out and saying, oh, never mind, we're not gonna list. Like, we'll give you the exact date and
Yep.
we're
Did
good
they
to go.
and did they say they wanted anything to like for that contingency or no?
Meaning,
Like that paperwork you sent, is that still part of the purchase agreement or no?
yeah, they did need that.
Okay.
So good thing I sent it, but yeah, they did need that. But I did find out, I guess some people are okay with it, some people aren't, but I didn't put it in the actual like purchase agreement or anything. I sent it separately, but it was a personal property, addendum. And because there was one item that we were trying to negotiate with, but they did end up having me take it completely out of all of it. And they just said, we'll figure that out on the side, once everything is signed and good to go. But they just didn't want it. They didn't even want to see it, period, until we got to that point.
And then, okay, so then my other question is, what are they listing it in the MLS as?
They, my buyer, what are they listing their house at? Or
No,
what
you're
did
the
this-
seller
did
for
this-
your buyer.
they listed this house at
A house.
No, I mean, like, what did they put in there right now that it is pending, or is it contingent on the sale of another property, or what is
Oh.
the status?
No, I don't know any of that yet. I literally on the road sent
Okay,
the signatures for the counter offer, and now they have to sign now that we agreed upon everything. So until
Okay.
I get that back, I'm probably not even gonna ask her what she's putting it in as.
okay, so here's the thing, is if she puts it in as contingent upon sale of another house, then that means that it can still be looked at, and if they get a better offer,
They can dump
the
it.
seller can dump you and you have to perform in those 3 days that I mentioned. So that's where you want to be really in touch with that agent to tell them, you know, all the paperwork's in, we're now coming soon, we're now active. You want to keep them on top of everything, because they can cancel working with you, and 3 days means you need to cancel your contingency, which means your listing needs to be sold, which is impossible, right? So that's where you want to just be careful and really, really stay in contact with that person, that agent, and, you know, ease their mind that everything's going how it needs to be, right?
So is there anything I can do, even with this, with countering, to ask that they can put it to pending instead?
Well, I mean, they really can't, because there's contingencies.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay,
And so, that's why when you said we aren't putting it on the market till this date, that's where it's concerning, because then that gives them, if an agent is savvy and they look on there and say, oh, it's pending the sale of another home, well, we could still make an offer and we could make it better and not contingent, you know, so.
yeah.
You
Okay,
just want to stay in touch, and then also tell your buyer, who now you're selling their house, tell them, we got to move on this, and we want to, you know, make it as seamless as possible, because we don't want that to happen, right? But make
Right.
sure you tell them what happens if
Yep.
they call it's called calling the contingency. So the agent could call you up and be like, yeah, we're calling the contingency. And you're like, calling it what? And they're like, we're calling it starting today, and in 3 days you have to have it sold. So
got it. Okay. So yeah, so we should be coming soon by tomorrow, and I will
Okay.
stay on top of it with the agent with that to let her know. And then we decided on May 23rd with all the things that my buyer, my seller will have going on. He couldn't get it all done until May 23rd. So 12 more days. But
yeah.
okay, yeah, good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where which is why I said he's got to sell his house first, right? Because it puts you in such a tough spot. Like, you can't perform in 3 days, right? Like,
Right.
that's literally impossible. But if you think about it from the other side, is what if you're the seller and you get an offer that's like, okay, well, it's contingent on this. Well, okay, I mean, we don't have anything else, we'll take it. And if somebody comes to us with cash and they'll close in 2 weeks, we're gonna go with that instead. Right, so, because
Yeah.
otherwise that seller could be stuck with your maybe selling that house, but what if they don't sell it, you know, because
So are they stuck with that kind of position until we're active or until we actually are sold?
it's until you have a
Mhm.
closing date.
Got
And
it.
then your contingency moves up to the next one, which says, remember there's contingencies, is 1, 2, and 3. So you're at 1 right now because you're not even on the market. And then the 2 is we're contingent on the successful close. So they can't back out of it once you get a successful close date.
Okay, got it.
So that's really the time when you can take your sigh of relief and be like, all right, we're good.
You
Got it.
can't ever tick that sigh.
Ew.
Don't kid you, until the check is in your hand, there's no ticking of sighs.
Ticking. Okay. Anywho,
But congratulations,
good job.
you're not clapping.
Thank you. Yay.
It's a 2 clap. That's 2. We've had 6 claps. 3 people,
Congratulations.
6 claps.
Oh my God.
Congratulations.
Yes, super exciting.
And now all of the pressure has been moved to Lori.
Yep, Lori.
All of it.
Lori, it's all on you now. Look at, she's in the office.
And
Come down here.
I just got to the office. I did.
Oh, come down here. You can come in the room. You can
Should.
be a
Okay.
featured guest.
Well, right now, the one good thing going on is I think I have a new buyer and I'm going to be meeting with them later today. Yay.
Sweet.
Well, that's sweet. That is sweet.
So that's my
When you say you think you're going to be meeting with him, though.
well, I know I am meeting them with them
Oh,
today.
well,
I'm pretty sure. I just can't say for sure because we haven't signed paperwork yet. So I'm pretty sure I have a
They
new
want to
buyer.
go home and look at it.
But we're going to be meeting today, like in a few hours.
What kind of buyer? I mean, a house buyer, obviously, but
House
like,
buyer. Yes.
where are they looking?
A car buyer.
Do you know where they're looking or
Well,
anything like that, or?
And they play poker a lot and they won a lot of money. And so they're like, and they were, I think now they're living with their parents. So they're like, they're
my God.
really good and they're set financially to do it. So it's pretty exciting.
That's
So we'll be
exciting.
meeting and talking about all the details of where, right now he's living in Apple Valley. So
Nice. Look at that. All 4 of you had buyers, new buyers this week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you put your ear to the ground. You can hear it.
Right?
It's
I
like a train
know.
coming.
Well, Lior, my lender, called me this morning.
Lior?
At
Lior.
8:30. I'm
Did you
on
say
my
Eeyore?
Lior.
Elior.
Lior.
Okay.
He must
And-
have called me right after you.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, 8:30. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? I'm totally not ready. He's like, I got one for you. And I'm like, okay. He usually has this process, right? Like he does all the things, but at 8:30, he's driving his kid to school. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, she's like, okay, well, I have to get to a meeting really quick. So I'm like, Lior, do you have everything you need? He's like, he comes back on. You can tell he's driving. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm in my car. And I'm like, oh my God. So I got a buyer from that. So that was super exciting. Yeah.
And Kelly today closed the first set of people I actually got on my own. They
Really?
closed today. Yeah. And then they, after we interviewed and talked with them, they said, we don't want to work with him, but we'll work with you. Ditched
I'm gonna
me,
shut this off and come join you guys.
Okay.
ditched me and go work with my wife. But
That's
you're
funny.
my friends.
But I
Yeah.
want to help
Yeah,
you.
well, you go
Oh.
talk to my wife. Well, no, we'll
She's
talk.
really good at what she does.
She is. We don't want you. You.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I had a closing today too. I had a closing for other people. I was thinking about this earlier. They came to me because of their friends who I closed for, and they came from Lior.
Well, how about that
Right?
Eeyore?
Eeyore. Yeah.
He's just down in the dumps, but handing out the referrals.
We're down in the dumps. Okay, so I want to show you guys. Well, let me get it ready first, because if I just show you my screen, you'll be like, what is she doing?
I would absolutely agree.
I gotta move
What
this.
is
What
she?
is she doing? So
I can see her screen and I'm still wondering what she's
Hello.
doing.
where did Cassandra go?
She's driving here right now.
No,
you guys
she
came
hung
together.
up.
Probably
She maybe
issues
she's
with their iPhone.
she was pulled over.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Hopefully not.
Right. Okay. So we're
You
gonna
don't even know
go
how to do
to
this, do you?
all right, screen share. We're gonna screen share. What's that?
Come on
Hello.
in.
Tell her our
Look at the
news.
screen. Look in the screen. Oh,
Share.
unshare it.
Oh, okay, wait. What are we doing? Okay.
We're in the Zoom.
We're on the Zoom.
How about that?
Zoom. So we had, let's see, Taylor, Shantia, Lori, and Cassandra was on the phone. She's coming in now. And I asked them all what their good news was. And Taylor has a new buyer, and then he has a buy sell from the bar, probably both luxury.
Awesome.
And Shantia signed a new buyer, and
Way to
Lori
go.
signed a new buyer.
Way to go.
And Cassandra signed a new buyer last night, got an accepted offer, and is listing the house.
Beautiful.
What?
Great job.
Oh my gosh,
What?
isn't that exciting?
Okay.
So
Come
exciting.
and see me later if I'm still here.
Okay.
I have dinner with
Oh, yeah,
team
at
again tonight,
4:30?
But I need to talk to you about some stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Mania.
Mania. Okay, so here's the screen. This is not anybody's, well, this is Nazira's folder, but so this is the one I wanted to show you guys. What? Who's here?
That gal.
Hmm.
Ah.
So this is Michelle's commission menu, she calls it. And this is what we talked about last week, and that we thought it would be
How did you need to see that more
helpful
than I
to
do?
put it in everybody's folder, so it is in your folder now. And what I would say is if you take it and make it your own, like put your little logo here. And then the second page talks all about what all these things mean. And the cool thing is that down here, it says all cart items can be negotiated for additional fees, right? Like, so, hello, here's the
Hey.
party.
How are you doing, Chief?
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Put up a chair. We have lots of chairs in here now. So this is,
Sounds like Easter in here.
sounds like Easter.
It does. It sounds like Easter, like an
Oh.
Easter basket. That's what
Oh,
It smells like in here.
oh, it's because we're so sweet.
Not a peep out of you.
Not a peep. Oh my God. So, okay, so she does it a little bit differently. She starts with the 7% here, which that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're thinking of their mindset like, oh, I'm not gonna start at 6, you're gonna start at the
No,
highest,
you
right?
start at the top and
Yep.
sell down, you sell bigger, because if I talk about all these items on the 7% and then start taking them away, you're losing things.
Right.
Where if you start at 6 and you work your way up, you're just making everything more expensive.
Right.
Yep.
So, unparalleled customer service.
Everybody gets that.
Everybody, right? Free in-home or virtual consultation. So that's for the people that are scared of you coming into their house, right? COVID, whatever. Sign in the yard, pretty much everybody gets that anyway, right? Marketing materials on site, professional photos, open house. So package A, B, and C, and package A will go down here. So consists of 4 public open houses in which all buyers and their agents will be able to tour the home. She also conducts a 1 broker open for the house. There, it's on a Tuesday during the day. Local agents to tour the home for the clients they have in mind, and then total of 6 open houses. The host will open house for the neighbors, encouraging them to spread the word about the great home and for sale in the neighborhood. For each of these 6 open houses, I provide complimentary refreshments and snacks. Okay, and then package B is same as A, except it's 2 open houses for a total of 4. And then 4 is 4 open houses. And I love what she says, refreshments and snacks are not included in this package.
I ain't making no cookies.
No cookies for you.
You said this was on Google Drive, right?
Yep, it's in your folder.
How come I can't, it's okay.
Okay, we'll
I'll
look.
find it.
We'll look.
Figure it out.
Social media posts.
I'll figure it out together.
Facebook boosted posts. I do have some information about boosting. I don't know if it's relevant, but that, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Canvas
Boosting.
neighborhood and local businesses. So for these 2, first and second, or 7 and 6.5, she goes out and will do like the radius of like, I don't know, 100 homes and just canvases. So she's not door knocking. She just puts the flyer out, right? And then around to local businesses, and then a professional staging consultation. So there's a little star down here. So she provides simple staging tips at the consultation. Professional stager will provide their expert advice on how to utilize your furniture, decor, and stage your house. 2 hours, room by room, right? And the thing is that like we talk about, they're the bad guy, not you, right? And you're only paying for this 2 hours. And that's going to be like maybe $150 to $300, right? Depending on who you get and for how long. Some will do a consultation in an hour if they can, right? And then after that, you're not paying for anything. Like they pay for, if they actually want the stager to come in and do stuff, then they pay for that. Let's see.
So they don't do anything in that 2 hours, it's just consulting?
They'll walk around and they'll be like, okay, they make a list. They're like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then at the end, it's kind of the conversation of, okay, do you want to do this or do you want help doing this?
And then if they want help.
If they want help, then they
then
hire the
have to-
stager.
Okay.
Yep, and then that's where the stager says it's cost this much for this many hours, or they have packages too.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think when I did mine in New York, it was, you only really, I mean, especially in this market, you don't need it for a long time, but it's usually like a month that the stuff stays in there.
They'll bring furniture if that's the.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Don't a lot of people do where like digital graphics for the pictures? now,
Sometimes,
though?
yeah.
That's- I heard
Mhm.
it's a big.
That's actually, I mean, you can look into it. It's actually pretty
20
expensive too.
I heard it was like $25 a picture or something.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen somewhere it's like $100 a picture.
Oh,
And I'm
really?
like, I'm not
I don't
doing
remember
that.
who said that to me, but
Welcome
There's a
to
company
town,
called
town.
sounds better.
Box Brownie, and they do it, but they're kind of pricey.
Okay.
The thing is you can get it done, but it can also look super crappy.
But then it looks
And you're
bad
like,
when
there's
they
a
actually
floating
see it.
chair in that house.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks great. Hello.
I'll process your commission tomorrow.
Okay,
They cut off with-
That's all right.
So,
that's okay.
But yeah, when I come in for the breakfast tomorrow. I'll just
Okay.
do that real quick.
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt.
You text them and just say, do better.
Do better, would you please? Okay, where were we? Okay, Facebook ads, only with the top one, virtual tour video, same thing. Email blast, blog post, drone footage. So when we go down here, it's going to kind of show like drone footage. The people, I don't know their cards here, our preferred vendors. They'll do drone footage and it's, I want to say it's like $100 to $125, maybe 200. It depends on how much you want to do. Like I had one where it was like, we just wanted a picture overhead. We didn't need a whole bunch of stuff. And so then I just paid for that one picture. But you know, like the one she's got, that's 5 million, like, yeah, they went all over the place because it's like
Yeah.
50 acres or something. So, okay, blog post using using my best descriptive writing abilities. I'll create a detailed blog post and feature on my website. So the thing with that is that you could do it in a newsletter as well. Like if you guys do newsletters, or like I have a newsletter and I could add it to that, wouldn't be as timely, but still it could be something like I've got this house and it's coming soon, or I have a buyer in this area or whatever. Email blast, database of over 3,000 email contacts. Virtual tour video. So this is like Matterport. And what they do is they have the camera, they put it in the room, and then they go run out of the room, and it takes like a full 360. And then that's where you're in the tour, and it's like those circles, and you move. Then you go to the next circle so that you can like see. They also do a dollhouse view, which is like where it's cut away, and you can see either from the floor, like above, or you can see like a cross section. And the cool thing with that, which her camp home group uses it, is it measures everything for you. So if you ever had a listing and you were like, dude, this wasn't listed before, I have no idea what the measurements are. If you do a Matterport, it's completely taken care of. And the other cool thing is that's how they'll look through things to figure out for the input sheet, because it's got every single room in it.
And all the dimensions.
Right. And
How much is that then?
I think it's like 300 or 400.
Okay.
Jason, do you know much Matterport is? It's like 300 or 400.
It's hard to say because our whole package.
Yeah.
is Like $400 or $350, but
With pictures.
that includes our drone
Yeah.
video, but we get a huge discount.
Yeah.
just because we send like 200
Yeah, so much business to them.
listings to them, so I don't know what their normal price.
Okay.
But Matterport, I mean, there's a few different companies that do it. Guy that used to be owner of Remax Results, he picks all those commercial shoppers.
Yeah. I know. I wonder, thank you.
Yeah.
I wonder if our preferred vendors do it. If they do Matterport. I don't have their flyer in
But it's
here.
worth it.
Yeah. Well, I know you guys used for that house in Afton. That's how you got the measurements,
Yeah.
which I was like, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's not true. It's not your true measurements, in my opinion, because what people don't realize is finished square footage is actually from the outside of the stud in,
Right.
right? So
Right.
if you think if you had a 2x6 room, right? Think about that where, okay, I got a foot here, that's additional finished square foot, and I actually got a foot here, that's additional finished
Yeah.
square foot. So your room is actually a foot longer and a foot
Right.
wider
Right.
than you think it is.
Right.
So
Huh.
if you're really doing, because, you know, like, if you really want to get the true measurement of a house, you gotta measure around the perimeter of the
Yeah.
house. And that's how you figure out finished square footage.
Right.
You
Right.
know, and then you subtract the stuff that's not finished inside from the stud cavity where the sheetrock would go.
Which is why we always say it's approximate.
Yeah.
And measure it if you want to know the real answer.
Yeah, you just don't want to be like way off in left field. You know, that's where some people go crazy, and it's like you don't want to be obviously low or high. You're gonna
Right.
shoot it for both ways.
Right.
So
Yeah.
But because there have been cases where people have egregiously been off, like listing agents, like,
Yeah.
oh, and the seller tells them to list it 400 square feet more than it really is. It's like, and then he gets the appraisal process, and the appraiser's like, well, wait, it's not 2,000,
Right.
it's 1,600, and then people get pissed. The buyers get pissed because they're like, why? We thought we were, you know, especially if it's a high C or a high S buyer, they're like, well, we thought we were
Right.
buying 2,000 square feet. The price per square foot is way higher now.
Right.
You know, so
I just
Yeah.
caught somebody that did that. It was 1,000 square. I was
Off?
like, what?
Off?
can't-
I'm like, did
Oh
you
my God.
accidentally?
You wouldn't think that would be on purpose, but these 1,000, you're gonna catch.
It
them.
was insane.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like an entire floor. That's an entire. I'm like, did you accidentally do that? He's like, no. And I'm like, no.
Didn't
Thank you, Jason. So, so yeah, I mean, if Lori, if you can grab that thing that says real estate, photography without, like right in that, yeah, that brochure
yeah.
thing. I think that stuff might say if they do. Yeah, so they do aerial photos, Twilights.
Drones extra on theirs.
Yeah, so, but the thing is that if you really want it, they'll figure out.
Who
How to
is
do it.
this?
Do they go around our area?
Preferred vendor. Next door photos.
Yeah, they went to Michelle's and that's 3.5 hours north.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Their
I mean-
extensive coverage area though is covered in this gray blob.
Right. Goes all the way down. to
So really,
So not in
I
our
think the
area.
thing you take away from this isn't necessarily you have to copy it
Right,
right here.
word for word or what have you, but you know, if you have a photographer that you're using, you know, parcel out their services and I'm sure the photographer you use, even this one, there's multiple packages.
right,
You know, you can use that part of their marketing into your own marketing. I mean, look, you're gonna get the basic package from my photographer because you're getting the basic package from me.
right,
And if
Right.
it matters, then you move up. And especially as we start to get into the potential of a shifting market where, you know, houses don't sell in the moments, how it's marketed starts to become more and more important to your seller. So, you know, making sure that they're getting a value add for each step is what this is all about. And then taking the time to parcel out those value adds is your responsibility
right,
as the agent.
right. Yeah, so, do you guys have any other, look at, I'm pretty sure that's not how you spell canvas,
No, it isn't.
canvas. This is ass.
Hey, Matt's not here and that's the joke that we tell.
But yeah, the thing is don't make it something that you don't want to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I don't want to do this door knocking, neighborhood, whatever, canvassing the neighborhood. Okay, well then
Canvassing it.
don't put the canvas on there. And the cool thing is that like when you say that the a la carte can be negotiated. So if they're like, well, I really, you know, think that I would love to have the, you know, whatever.
6%,
the
but I
drone
also
footage.
would like to have somebody come and do staging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be, I can absolutely see that as a very common, like, I'm cool with 6%, but I would like some staging
Right,
involved. Then,
right.
that's an extra fee. That's
Right.
cool. Or it's 6.5.
So with these guys doing this where it says like combo video, you know, and it says aerial and walkthrough video. Is this somebody that's actually giving us you know how typically we would go like inside the home and like video and tell them which rooms and tell them a little bit about the home and stuff like that, if you were gonna post that on social media? Is that something that they're already doing? So it's like not you in the home? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Yes, you are,
Yeah.
you are not the creeper in their home. They're the creeper.
So they're the professional creeper. They send us the video because it's paid for in the package that you choose.
Yep.
And then you're posting that to your social media.
Like those videos where they play music and you just see it going through.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then,
But it says 3 virtual date, just for example, on all 3 of these Twilights, it says 3 virtual date to dusk comp. I'm an idiot. It says conversions, not conversations.
it's a conversation.
And we're done.
And we're
No, I like where you were headed.
Thanks.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do.
Now that we're all stupid.
So let's have for homework so that, because that's one of the things that sometimes we get lost in the weeds is we'll see stuff like this and we're like, oh my God, that'd be so great. And then do we ever execute? So let's do it as homework that everybody takes this from your Google folder, which we'll go back to. Let's do yours, Cassandra. So go into your Google folder and, oh, yours is, that's different.
See what I mean?
No, I don't see what you mean. I mean what I say.
Mm-hmm.
That's homework. And then there we go. So you're looking under homework and we want to be under your individual agent
Okay.
folder. So then that's where you go in here and there it is, right? Booyah.
Boom.
So why don't you guys for homework go through this and print them out and then figure out what you want to do. If there's, like I said, if there's something over here, if you don't want to canvas neighborhoods, take it out, right? And then have it so, and then have the description down here. Have it, you know, you did not start real estate in 2017, right? So change that. Make it you, and then put your logo on here, right there. And then
How are you supposed to change?
How do you take that out?
the logo,
Yeah.
I just would upload it into Canva. And then I'd take
Oh,
my
then,
logo
like-
and I'd plop it on top.
Okay.
Because it make it with a white background.
Yep.
And then you just cover it up.
Just cover it up.
Do you know the other thing when I'm super desperate? Is I just print it out and then I get my business card and I just slap it down with the printer. And I'm like, whatever,
Copy.
this is gonna work. This is what we're doing today.
Works.
Yeah, so do you guys have any questions on that? I know Amy, you just joined us. We were talking about the commission menu, and you don't have to call it that. Call it whatever you want, right? Commission, it could be commission structure, right? Or commission, what's the other one I'm thinking? Not opportunities, options. Here we go. Yeah, Amy, if you just want to read through it, this one is the one that Michelle uses and
Okay.
make it your own. The thing we talked about probably the most on here was this down here is open house package. So she has 3 different packages. And again, if it's not something that you want to do, like in here, it says a broker open. The thing is broker opens aren't really done anymore because they sell so fast. They used to
You are
be.
not getting 6 open houses either.
No. So you got to just be 100% honest and be like, in this market, we're not going to have that. So probably don't put that in that you'll do that. You can put in there, you know, take out all the numbers and you can be like, I offer this. I'll provide refreshments for package A. B and C I won't, or whatever.
Or don't have
And
separate open house packages.
For sure. Don't offer to clean their house either.
Mhm.
That one time.
Yeah.
I will clean your damn house to sell it.
I remember.
And then you walk in the house.
Oh, it was the
I
worst.
remember walking in
Sterilizer
one
soap.
time and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to get the vacuum out. He's like, do you mind? And I'm like, well, yes, but I don't have a choice right now.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna be
Do
vacuuming.
you mind?
I didn't have to end up cleaning it, but I did have to end up getting a truckload. He left a truckload of stuff in his garage. And I had to get a truck and load it all up and get it out of there.
Oh God, people.
Oh,
People are wonderful. So,
So once we kind of like dial this in to make it ours,
Mhm.
is she, Michelle, or whoever is willing to kind of do a breakdown on that left side of everything that she offers, the actual menu,
Mhm.
and maybe help us out a little bit with the vendors that she does, or preferred people, or, because I feel like whether we make things our own or not, and whether we execute it or not, I think what gets you hung up more to actually doing it is knowing where to get those people, knowing where to go, what are the price, like getting the information out of it
Yep.
to actually use it, you know?
I know she does them for photography. So, and they're the drone work. And see, like here it says virtual tour video. So that's an extra thing that you can purchase on there that then she adds on here. But then yes, like a stager, there's probably 5 or 6 stagers that people in the office use,
Okay.
and we can go over that. The hard thing is like I've tried to get them to be preferred vendors, but not everybody uses a stager. Like everybody uses an inspector, everybody uses photographer, right? Don't make that face at me. See, now you get to see it in real life.
person.
Yeah. It's still is amazing.
Pigmentation of imagination.
So, but yeah, she just had an appointment today. So, but for sure we can have her talk next week on it. And then if you guys bring yours, you can talk about them and kind of ask questions too. Is there anything on here that you feel like you do that's not highlighted?
No.
sorry. Were you asking me? It cut out for just a second.
I was asking everybody in general.
Okay.
One of the things, just, so go ahead, Amy.
Oh, I was just saying, I'm driving right now, so I see the forms up on my phone, but I can't really look at it. So I'll have to go back and watch the recording.
Yeah, so the thing I'm thinking of that I do that like I don't really talk about, but I feel like it's important is I do those, you can see them down there. It says save $5,000 on this home, right? So I market to Keller Mortgage,
Mhm.
and then I try and get people in that way. And then I also do a book, like a binder that has all the information in it. And I mean, obviously, yes, like I'm going to do that with all
That's
of
not
them.
marketing materials on site.
Yes, it would.
So that would be.
It could
in
be
this
explained
part.
a little more.
That would be in this part down here, marketing material. You would have that in there, huh?
Yeah, right. Here's she says custom flyer highlighting. Not only can I provide you with some distribute to your sphere, right? So the other thing is I say to them, and it's really kind of like your checklist, right? Like you're going to leave seller disclosures, you're going to leave your if we do the other thing she doesn't have on here, oh my gosh, is what
Like a
HHG does.
pre-inspection?
Yeah, is
Yeah.
a pre-listing home inspection. So I'd put that on here, and then I'd be like, guess what? At 7%, I pay for the inspection, and I'm going to have it there on the counter for everybody to see, and there's no surprises.
Mhm.
Like that would be your biggest marketing
Mhm.
plus to do
Home
in
warranty.
7. Oh, home warranty.
Home
That one's
warranty.
free. Oh my God, you guys, are you writing these down?
I know, I was gonna say.
Home
Home warranty. I love a warranty. Because you can slap a warranty on a bull's ass.
Oh, hey. Okay, so with home warranty, that is going to be free. One of our preferred vendors has it free for 6 months. So you can, now when I say free, I mean like the coverage is free. Like if something happens, they still have to pay their
Deductible.
$80 whatever charge, trip charge or whatever. And if something is broken, they either repair or replace it, right? So that's the 6 months that it's being listed. then you could say, I mean, do the math, like find out what are you making at 7% that you're not at 6, right? And do you want to pay for the home warranty just so that it's done? Like if the house is kind of a train wreck and you're like, well, the furnace is 50 years old, like they're probably going to do that, blah, 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 right? The home warranty for you guys can be $425, right? Because you can get a agent referral of $75 instead of being $500, it's $425.
So
So
we're paying for it to be offered under this, but
You're making,
for 6 months for the seller to be more protected
Yeah.
until that buyer takes over ownership,
yeah,
and then it falls off, or
it can fall off, or you
the
can
buyer
choose to, if you want to pay for
or
it,
you can.
you can pay for it. And if your seller's like, well, why would you pay for it? Who even cares? Okay, well, I don't have to.
So it's 425 for the first 6 months.
6 months is free,
Oh, okay.
But that's covering your seller until the deal
It's
closes.
done.
closes, yeah.
and then they can choose if they would like to. How does that get into contact? Like, how do they have?
If the
Hey,
buyer wants to
this-
purchase it,
Mhm.
then we would just have the information and say, right now, we're currently covered here. It would cost $400 or $500 for you to continue the coverage with this company who already, and the thing is they have a inspection coverage. So if they get the inspection, they'll cover anything that's wrong on the inspection because they know about it.
Okay.
So in that 6 month time period, and then you can tell those,
And then what if you sell in 3 months?
it's whatever, it's however long, I mean.
It's till when the closing date happens,
mhm.
and then that new buyer can take over
Yep.
that.
They can buy it if they want.
So you're basically just giving them the information. This is who
Yep.
we had, this is who
Yep.
covered until here. If you guys wanted to do coverage, yada, yada,
Yep.
yada.
Yep.
But you don't, so where does the 425 come in after
Yeah,
the 6
that's what I was
months?
wondering.
The 425 is how much it costs the buyer to do it, to purchase it. And what I'm saying is if your
So we're
house,
taking advantage of it as a seller and as a selling point
yeah,
to make
Yes.
more commission for that free 6 months. But
Yes.
if the new person wants to take it over, clearly that's when they have to
yes,
pay.
And
yes.
how is just like how many times do they have to pay the 425? Like
It's good for 14 months.
good for 14 months.
Mhm.
Okay.
So once the 14 months is up, then they can renew
Mhm.
at another 425.
Okay.
The thing I'm saying is that if your seller feels like this might be a tough selling point, maybe you look at it and you see how much you're making and you're like, you know what? Let's offer that the home warranty is included, right? Because you've seen that sometimes on the houses, like
Yeah.
home warranty is included
Yep.
because they're like, well, the stuff's old and we don't want to have to replace it. We
So
don't
that
want
would
to be
just be
asked to
adding
replace it.
14 months at the 425.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And you don't
And
have
you're-
to pay it.
You don't have to, but if
You
you offer it
can.
in your package,
Then
Right.
it
you're
makes
gonna
sense to
net,
typically.
you're gonna net way more.
Yes.
1% of a house is way more than $425.
Right.
Right.
I get it.
And it's
1% of
just one of those
300,000 is
things,
$3,000.
right?
But it's their home, so how do
You
you
don't-
pay for it?
Because it happens at closing. It just says who's paying for the home warranty
Got
and
it.
come
you say
out of
the
the commission.
agent is.
Got it, okay.
Yeah. And that's where it's like, do you use it every single time? No.
Mhm.
It's just one of those things you offer. And it's like, if it comes to this, this is what I'm willing to do for you.
Okay,
And they're like, really? You do that? Absolutely. Like, how many times do you?
yeah.
Not that much.
Okay.
But you have to decide, is that a standard I want to set? Like, I think it would impress people if you did that versus,
Especially if it's on that
Right. It's
menu
on your-
where you're
it's on
getting
the
more
menu.
anyways.
right,
Yeah.
right.
You know,
Makes sense.
you're just adding value to
Right.
why you
Who-
give me an extra percent.
So who does that home warranty for 6 months free? What?
Home Warranty Inc.
Home Warranty Inc.
Yep, it's, can I sneak by you,
No,
Jason? Okay, well, you're gonna have to move.
Yeah,
I
think
do
I've
not
always
have to
looked
do
into
anything.
Cinch is who I always looked into, I think.
Well, that's a cinch.
Then if like, a tree falls on somebody's house or something.
Oh,
Right?
geez.
Right, so,
That
so
never
there's,
I know,
there's
but it
this one.
almost did.
I know.
So that's where it says 14-month coverage. And then here is on the back, it says seller listing coverage 6 months for free, and it shows you what it covers. And then if your client's like, oh, well, but it doesn't cover XYZ, well, then you can get stuff added, right? It's gonna cost more.
Right.
But the other thing is it says in here, oh, should I just say, but the inspection, if you get an inspection and you share it with them, they will cover whatever.
So another place that a home warranty can be super and maybe comes up more often is when you're selling a house with a pool in the winter.
Mm,
Because you can't really inspect it.
Yeah.
In the winter.
Yeah.
So that,
Right.
that can come up quite a bit in that particular case, and a home warranty can certainly help everyone feel way more comfortable with that scenario.
yeah. So what questions do you guys have about this, about your homework?
I'm trying to figure out how Taylor was sitting there so still.
Looked like he was meditating.
It's like
He was frozen.
super creepy for a minute.
I saw you look at him like, what's happening?
So I guess I kind of had a question just in general, because I definitely want to use this like next week when I do my listing appointment. And I kind of had the idea, like, I want to provide the 7%, like most of the things that I know that I'm going to put in there, like 4-6%. Like, do you
Right.
think that that's a good way to just like, this is what I do for 7, this is 6.5. I want to do everything that I usually do for 7 for 6 for you guys, like to kind of right off the bat, just like sell yourself. Like, I'm going to do all this for you. Is that a good approach, or is that selling yourself short?
I was gonna say, or selling yourself short.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, when you
In-
said, or is this selling? I'm like, yourself short.
In the 80s, back in the old days when we used bad language, we might have said that's like dropping your pants, bro.
We said that? I never even heard that.
You're
Whatever
not
you have
old
to do
enough
to get
to
the
still think
listing,
in the
you know?
80s.
Did they already have the conversation though with you that like they didn't want to do 6%? Because then I would maybe take that approach. But
Well, even still, I mean, you lay out the thing because they don't even know what what your commission entitles them to.
Right.
Sure.
And certainly, I think there's a place where after you have the discussion, they're like, wow, you know what? I mean, yeah, that's really cool, but we think in this market, it'll do fine. And you know what I mean? Or whatever, then yes, that, I mean, the other thing, and I think Michelle brings up a great point when she talks about this specifically, is in some levels, this is also a test of you. And if you're willing to cut your own commission, what are you going to do when it's their money and the sale of the house is on the line, right? Are you just willing to take the lowest price to get it done? Or are you going to fight for what it's worth? And I mean, that's part of her script about how she sticks to the number and says, look, these are my rates, and you know, this is what it costs, and these are the things. And just like I'm not in a place where I just drop this, I'm not going to drop what your house, the sales price for your house. And I'll give you an example of why that's important. Clients, potential clients. A lot of real estate agents will get 6 or 7 offers. They'll relay those 6 or 7 offers to you, and they're going to say, which one do you want? And that sounds like a great deal because you're going to pick the one that has the most. And that's a win for you, of course. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 3 best offers. I'm going to call number 2 and I'm going to call number 3 and I'm going to say, hey, I've got 3 offers. You're not the biggest one. What do you want to change?
Amen, because that's that one I was telling you about. We were at 700, we offered 750 with an escalation clause, 5,000 over, $50,000 appraisal gap coverage. And she had an inspection. The other 3 didn't have inspection. He's like, well, yeah, they didn't want an inspection, so we took somebody else's, but we really liked yours better. And I'm like, then why didn't you
why didn't
tell
you
me?
call? Yeah.
Why
But-
didn't you tell me?
But I mean, put yourself in the other agent's shoes. I mean, that's almost standard now.
But that's
Right? That-
lazy.
well,
Yeah.
and that's the point. It is lazy. It's a quick shortcut. And if you're taking the quick shortcut with your own commission, what are you going to do with the value of their house?
Right.
You know,
And use my story if you want.
you
Because
know,
that's the thing is they don't get it until it's tangible to the fact that she's still upset 2 weeks later that she lost that house over something that small.
And it's super common. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how many listings you've done. I know, I see it all the time. Here are the listings presented to you
Yes.
on the
yes.
plate. Which
Yep.
one do you want?
Yep.
Well, I want this one, but I want it better. Well,
And
cool,
they
that's
go,
my
"Well,
job.
Right.
My
and-
job is to make it
right.
better.
And what agents are
Negotiate.
doing now is they go, oh, well, that was their highest and best. So you got to pick one of these.
We asked for highest and best, so that means that's what they gave us.
Without not knowing what
Without
anybody else
asking
had.
if they-
Right?
This just happened on one of my last ones. We put in our offer and I basically had to beg them, like, please give me a call, whether we won or not, like, please give me a call and like, talk about it with me. Let me know if there's anything more we can do, like, just hammer it out basically, if there's any more tweaking. She's like, well, that's what highest and best is for. And I said, well, not necessarily. And I was like, because if there's one small, simple little thing that could be changed, if we're in the running, if we're in the top 3 or top 2, then maybe they would be willing to tweak that one little thing.
And make it even better. for
Yeah,
you.
and I was like, so please, no matter what, just give me a call so we can talk and blah, blah, blah. And then they ended, she did get back to me, but she's been in this business a long time and
Yeah.
she got back to me and basically thanked me. She was like, you know what, like, you're right. I shouldn't have just, highest and best. I
Dismissed.
shouldn't have said that to you. Like, that's what highest and best is for. And she's like, I apologize, blah, 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 but honestly, I don't know. I'm not saying I've had a bunch of listings by any means, but I've definitely done it where I've called them and said, hey, just want to let you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think
give them a chance.
for the other
Yeah.
side is, for most of our experience on the buyer side, how many times have we gotten a phone call and we didn't accept your offer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, just
When
that,
you
that's
could've
the end of the
tweaked it.
discussion.
yeah.
We didn't accept it.
And then why? What?
Well, you're in the top 3, but
Right.
you just, the other one was better.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you know?
Right.
You didn't even ask?
So frustrating.
Right.
You didn't even, when your fiduciary responsibility is to get the best deal for your clients, that's what you've said.
Mhm.
As an agent who has represented buyers, that is simply not true, that agents aren't doing that
Right.
because you've submitted an offer and not been called.
Right.
So it's not true.
Yeah, absolutely.
So make it true for your clients.
I have to put these out so I don't forget.
I smell like onions.
Well, it smells like Easter in here, so now
I
we've got
smell
Easter
like
onions.
onions. Where did that?
Have you ever
even
had
come
an
from?
Easter onion? Because that's what we've got.
I was cooking and I had a bunch of like the vegetables and stuff, like, and I was wearing these pants and now I'm like,
Your
I
pants
can
smell like
I can
onions?
smell the onions.
Onion
And
pants.
I have onion pants.
What is
I've
it?
heard of apple bottom jeans, but never onion pants.
What tedious, it's such a tedious onion.
Tedious onion pants.
We were in Austin and we get this food delivered and this onion's like draped over. And the waitress leans over and hands Matt his stuff. And she's like, oh, this tedious onion. And she leaves and he goes, did she just say tedious? And I'm like, about an onion? I'm like, is this a Texas
Very
thing?
confusing.
Right.
I think
So the whole time we
she
were like, oh, it's so
really
tedious.
wanted it to be precarious,
Precarious.
but doesn't know
No.
the words. So we'll just go with tedious.
Tedious.
I want to make sure these people think I'm sophisticated, and I'm going to use big words like tedious.
Tedious onions. Oh my God. Well, guys, look at that. It's already 4 o'clock, 4:01. So if anybody's coming to Red Day tomorrow, it's gonna be warm. So I don't think any of you guys are coming now that I look
It's
at
not
it.
going to be warm.
So
It's going to be hot.
we're gonna be raking yards. I said to my daughter, I'm like, do you want to come? She's like, Mom, it's gonna be like 90. I am not doing that. Me and 90 don't work well together. Oh,
I can't
sorry.
wait. That is exactly the temperature I want
Yeah.
to work in.
I have to too.
All right, guys. Well,
Thanks for being here.
yes. So next week is just going to be the homework for that, and we didn't get to talk about MREA. So I'll have Irene put the same chapter in there for next week. So, and we'll have Michelle here for you. Awesome. Good to see you guys.
And what a great week for all y'all. Thanks for
Right?
sharing.
Thanks,
I mean, seriously.
Totally amazing. Oh, and Amy, Amy, tell them really quick, tell them your news. What happened over the weekend?
My offer was accepted against
Congratulations.
16 other offers. And going back, the agent did call me and said we were second because they wanted a letter. I didn't do the letter from the lender. I'm like, oh, let me talk. I bet we can get you a letter.
Oh
Plus
my
we had the escalation. So that's how we won. But
See, and that's
Yeah.
the gold is when they call you, when it's like, well, we haven't actually signed everything yet, or we haven't,
Yeah.
da, da, da. That's the key,
negotiation. part.
right? That's
Yes.
the time that's important. So awesome.
Wow.
Well,
wow.
congratulations, everybody.
Yeah,
Awesome.
big week.
All right.
Big week.
Have a
Big
good week, you
big
guys.
wins.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Bye.